Lion mentality. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Today, I want to speak to you about something fierce, something bold, something that defines leadership, courage, and unwavering focus. The lion mentality. The lion is not the largest animal in the jungle. It is not the fastest nor the strongest, but still, it is the king. Why? Because of its mentality. The lion doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't second guess its instincts. It sees a challenge and faces it head on. It sees opportunity and seizes it. The lion leads not because of physical superiority, but because of its unshakable belief in itself. The lion mentality is about owning your space in the world. It's about moving with purpose, speaking with confidence, and acting with conviction. Life is not going to hand you what you want. You have to claim it with courage and relentless pursuit. You are not here to blend in. You are not here to play it small. You are here to dominate your path, conquer your fears, and inspire others with your roar. So I challenge you, starting today, think like a lion, walk like a lion, lead like a lion, because the world steps aside for the one who knows where they're going. Be bold, be brave, be unstoppable, be a lion. Thank you. The lion is not the largest, fastest, or strongest animal in the jungle, yet it is universally recognized as the king. This truth challenges how we typically measure dominance or greatness. In a world that often glorifies outward advantages like size, strength, or speed, the lion teaches us a far more valuable lesson. It's not about what you have physically, but how you think mentally. Mentality over size is the defining trait that separates leaders from followers, the successful from the average, and the bold from the hesitant. A lion wakes up each morning with a singular purpose: survival and dominance. It doesn't think about its disadvantages or compare itself to the elephant or the cheetah. It simply embraces who it is. It believes it is the king. That belief translates into action. That belief turns into fearless movement. That belief creates power. This mindset is what we call the lion mentality, and it's rooted in attitude. Imagine two people in a competitive environment. One is highly skilled but filled with self-doubt. The other is moderately skilled but moves with absolute confidence. Time and again, it is the confident one who stands out, who gets chosen, who leads. Why? Because people are drawn to certainty. They follow those who believe in themselves. This is exactly why the lion is feared and respected. Not because it is the biggest, but because it acts like it is. When a lion sees an elephant, it doesn't see an obstacle, it sees a meal. That's mentality. A lion doesn't pause to overthink, hesitate, or let fear take over. It moves with decisiveness, driven by instinct and confidence. The elephant, despite being larger and stronger, retreats because it perceives danger. Here we see the power of mindset again. The elephant, with all its strength, is controlled by fear. The lion, with its courage, controls the jungle. Translating this to our own lives, we often face situations where we feel smaller in skill and resources and experience. But size is not the issue. It's your perspective. It's whether you approach the world like the elephant or the lion. You may not have the best degree, the most connections, or the highest rank, but none of that matters if you think like a lion. You walk into rooms like you belong. You speak your truth boldly. You don't look for approval. You move with purpose. Many people underestimate the role of mindset in success. They believe it's all about talent or intelligence, but there are thousands of talented people who never fulfill their potential simply because they lack the lion's mentality. They hesitate. They seek validation. They wait for perfect timing. The lion doesn't wait for conditions to be perfect. It simply acts. It adapts. It takes risks and trusts in its own ability to overcome. This mindset isn't about arrogance. It's about clarity. A lion doesn't pretend to be anything other than what it is. And that clarity allows it to focus fully on its mission. In contrast, people often dilute their power by trying to fit in, by shrinking to make others comfortable, or by hiding their ambitions out of fear of judgment. That's not the lion way. The lion doesn't seek to fit in. It commands space and changes the atmosphere wherever it goes. Your mentality is your foundation. It shapes how you handle failure, how you respond to criticism, and how you navigate challenges. A lion doesn't dwell on failure. doesn't stop hunting because of a missed attempt. It learns, recalibrates, and tries again with the same belief in success. That's the power of a lion mentality. It creates resilience, fosters confidence, and unlocks leadership. Mentality over size is not just a slogan, it's a way of life. It teaches us that belief is stronger than ability, and that attitude can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. Courage in action is what separates the lion from every other creature in the wild. The lion is not immune to danger, nor is it unaware of the risks that surround it. Yet, it acts with a level of bravery that is unmatched. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. This is where the lion stands out. Its power is not just in its physical strength, but in its mental toughness, the ability to charge forward when others would retreat. In life, fear often paralyzes people. It holds them back from opportunities, from taking chances, from speaking up, from standing out. Many people spend their lives waiting for the fear to go away before they take action. But that day never comes. Fear doesn't disappear. It must be confronted. Lions don't wait to feel brave, they act bravely. That action, that forward momentum, is what builds real courage. The lion mentality means stepping into uncertainty with confidence. Every time a lion hunts, there is a risk. The prey might escape. The lion might get injured. But it does not let doubt override its instincts. The lion trusts itself. That trust is key. Similarly, we must learn to trust ourselves, our preparation, our vision, our potential, and then act. The difference between people who achieve great things and those who don't often comes down to one thing: the willingness to take action even when the outcome is uncertain. Courage in action also means doing what's necessary even when it's uncomfortable. Lions don't live in comfort zones. They live in the wild, where survival requires risk-taking and boldness. For humans, courage may mean starting a business, leaving a toxic environment, speaking the truth, or making a tough decision. It's easy to talk about dreams and goals, but it takes a lion's heart to pursue them relentlessly, especially when facing setbacks, criticism, or fear of failure. This type of courage is rare because it requires discipline. It requires silencing the inner voice that says you can't and amplifying the one that says try anyway. It's about doing the hard thing when the easy option is available. Lions don't always succeed on the first attempt. They often fail, but they don't stop. Every failure is followed by another attempt, another pursuit. That consistent action, rooted in courage, is what keeps them at the top of the food chain. Humans, too, can develop this kind of courage, but it must be practiced. It starts in small decisions. The choice to speak up in a meeting, to take responsibility for a mistake, to reach out to someone you admire, to apply for a position that feels out of reach. Every courageous action builds a layer of strength, a layer of strength, a layer of self-belief. Over time, this becomes your foundation, a mindset that doesn't wait for perfect conditions but moves anyway. Courage in action also influences those around you. Just as the lion's roar can stop animals in their tracks, your bravery can inspire others to be bold. It creates a ripple effect. One act of courage can change a life, not just yours, but someone else's. It sets a new standard, showing people what's possible when you refuse to let fear dictate your actions. Ultimately, courage in action is the difference between intention and reality. Many people dream, plan, and talk. Lions act, they pursue, they claim, and in doing so, they rise. That's what courage looks like: not perfection, not fearlessness, but persistent, intentional action despite the odds. Whether in the wild or in life, courage is the fire that fuels the climb to the top. Unshakable self-belief is one of the most defining qualities of a lion. It's not just confidence, it's a deep, unwavering trust in one's own power, identity, and purpose. The lion doesn't question whether it is capable. It doesn't seek approval from the jungle. It doesn't compare itself to others. The lion believes it is the king, and that belief shapes every move it makes. It governs how it walks, how it roars, how it hunts, and how it leads. This level of belief is not based on arrogance. It's based on clarity. Clarity of who you are, what you stand for, and what you are capable of becoming.
3.
In human terms, this kind of self-belief is rare, not because it's impossible, but because so many people have allowed doubt, fear, and outside voices to shape their internal dialogue. From a young age, we are often taught to question ourselves more than we trust ourselves. We're told to be realistic, to play it safe, to stay within boundaries. Over time, this plants seeds of hesitation. But the lion doesn't think that way. The lion doesn't need validation to move forward. It knows what it can do, and more importantly, it believes in it without question. This is not to say that lions don't encounter failure or resistance. They do. But their self-belief is what keeps them going. The lion doesn't internalize it as defeat. It doesn't spiral into self-doubt. Instead, it gets back up, regroups, and tries again with the same conviction as before. This is the essence of unshakable belief. It's not conditional. It doesn't depend on yesterday's results or today's obstacles. It comes from within, and it is persistent. To adopt the lion mentality in your own life, you have to build this inner belief system intentionally. It starts with how you speak to yourself. Are your thoughts strengthening you or weakening you? Do you tell yourself you're not good enough, not ready, not deserving? Or do you affirm your potential, your worth, your vision? Self-talk is powerful. What you repeat to yourself becomes your truth. Lions don't entertain thoughts of failure. They don't dwell on what might go wrong. They focus on what they want and move with the mindset that they will get it. Another aspect of self-belief is the willingness to stand alone. Lions are not pack animals like wolves. They move in small groups, or sometimes even alone, and still dominate. This reflects a truth in life. Not everyone will see your vision, support your goals, or understand your mission. But self-belief allows you to keep going even when the crowd isn't cheering. It enables you to walk away from environments that don't value you, to speak your truth even when it's unpopular, and to choose your path even when it's difficult. Unshakable belief also requires resilience. Life will challenge you, people will doubt you, circumstances will try to break you. But when your belief is rooted deep enough, you won't fold under pressure. Instead, you'll rise through it. You'll use adversity as fuel, setbacks as learning, and criticism as clarity. Just as the lion does not question its identity because of one failed hunt, you must not question your worth because of one failure or rejection. And finally, belief has a magnetic quality. Just as animals in the jungle respond to the lion's presence, people respond to those who carry themselves with certainty. It's not about being the loudest or most aggressive. It's about energy. When you walk into a room with conviction, when you speak with authority, when you act with purpose, people notice. Opportunities notice. The world notices. This doesn't come from external traits. It comes from the silent, powerful voice inside that says, I am capable. I am enough. I am ready. That is unshakable self-belief. Purposeful leadership is at the heart of the lion mentality. The lion doesn't lead by accident or convenience. It leads because it is built to. Leadership in the lion's world is not about control or dominance for the sake of power. It is about direction, decisiveness, and presence. A lion leads with purpose. Every movement, every roar, every decision is intentional. There is no confusion, no second guessing. The lion knows where it is going, and others follow because of that clarity. True leadership is not about titles or positions. It's about action. The lion does not need to announce that it is king. It does not seek approval or applause. Its presence alone commands respect. It leads by being consistent, fearless, and focused. In our world, leadership often gets distorted. People confuse it with popularity, charisma, or influence. But real leadership is about setting a standard, showing the way, and having the courage to go first, especially when the path is hard. Purposeful leadership begins with self-leadership. Before the lion can guide the pride, it must first master its own instincts. It must control its emotions, sharpen its focus, and hone its skills. The same is true for people. You cannot lead others effectively if you cannot lead yourself. Self-discipline, emotional intelligence, and vision are foundational. Without them, leadership becomes empty. Just a title without real impact. But when a person leads themselves with intention, they inspire others to do the same. Leadership also means taking responsibility. When the lion leads a hunt, it doesn't blame others when it fails. It accepts the outcome, learns from it, and prepares for the next opportunity. This kind of accountability builds trust. People don't follow perfection. They follow authenticity. A purposeful leader doesn't hide from challenges or make excuses. They face problems head on and become a source of strength for those around them. Moreover, purposeful leadership is not reactive. It's proactive. The lion doesn't wander aimlessly hoping to stumble upon success. It scans its environment, identifies opportunities, and acts decisively. In life, many people wait for things to happen. They wait for perfect timing, external validation, or someone else to take the lead. But lions don't wait. They move. They assess, decide, and execute. That decisiveness is a key component of leadership. It doesn't mean every decision will be right, but it means you have the courage to make one. Another critical trait of purposeful leadership is influence. The lion's strength does not come from overpowering others, but from inspiring them. In a pride, the leader sets the tone. Its confidence creates security. Its presence brings order. In a similar way, effective leaders inspire confidence in their teams, families, or communities. They set the emotional tone. When they remain calm in chaos, others feel safe. When they stay focused on the goal, others stay motivated. This influence is earned, not demanded. And it's rooted in purpose, in knowing why you lead and where you're going. Leadership, especially purposeful leadership, also requires vision. The lion is always aware of its territory, its rivals, and its resources. It sees the bigger picture. It knows when to act and when to wait. A purposeful leader does the same. They don't just chase what's urgent. They pursue what's important. They think long-term. They focus on impact over impression. They invest in what matters and ignore distractions. Lastly, purposeful leadership is deeply connected to legacy. The lion doesn't just rule. It sets the tone for generations. Its actions influence the pride long after it's gone. In life, the choices you make as a leader leave a mark. Your values, your decisions, your actions, they echo. Purposeful leadership is about leading in a way that uplifts others, creates growth, and builds a foundation that lasts beyond your presence. It's not about being in charge. It's about taking charge with purpose, clarity, and courage. Claiming your space is one of the boldest and most empowering aspects of the lion mentality. In the jungle, every animal has its place, not because it's assigned, but because it's claimed. The lion doesn't ask for permission to lead. It doesn't wait to be invited to the top. It steps forward and takes ownership of its role as king. This is not a matter of arrogance, but of identity and intent. Claiming your space means knowing who you are, what you bring to the table, and moving through life with the confidence to occupy the position that aligns with your purpose. Many people go through life shrinking themselves to fit in. They stay quiet when they have something valuable to say. They hold back their ideas, their energy, their talents, out of fear of judgment, rejection, or failure. But the lion teaches a different way. It walks with presence. It doesn't need to explain its worth. It shows it through action, energy, and unshakable belief. When the lion enters a space, everything shifts, not because it demands attention, but because it embodies it. Claiming your space means understanding that you are not here to blend in. You are here to stand out, not in a superficial or boastful way, but in a way that reflects your truth. Your presence is your power. Too often, people water themselves down in order to be liked or accepted. They dim their light so that others aren't uncomfortable. But the lion never dims its roar to make the jungle quieter. It roars unapologetically, and that roar echoes. Similarly, when you claim your space, you give others permission to do the same. This mindset also applies to your goals and dreams. If you want something in life, whether it's a career position, a creative vision, a relationship, or a personal breakthrough, you have to step into it boldly. You cannot wait for external validation or perfect timing. There will never be a right moment when all doubts disappear. There will only be the moment you decide to act. Claiming your space is about taking initiative, setting boundaries, and choosing to pursue what matters to you without hesitation or apology. It also involves resilience. When you claim your space, you will face resistance. Some people may try to push you out of it, diminish your voice, or challenge your worth. But lions do not retreat in the face of challenge. They hold their ground. They protect what they've earned. They assert their right to be where they are. In life, claiming your space will often mean holding firm in the face of criticism, rejection, or even isolation. But that firmness builds character, and over time, your presence becomes undeniable. In professional environments, this mentality translates into owning your contributions. Don't minimize your achievements. Don't attribute your success to luck or downplay your skills. Speak with confidence. Lead with certainty. Ask for what you deserve. Too many people work hard in silence, hoping someone will notice. The lion doesn't hope to be noticed. It knows it's visible, and it makes sure its impact is felt. In relationships, claiming your space means not settling for less than you deserve. It means expressing your needs, standing by your values, and refusing to tolerate disrespect. Disrespect. It means being fully authentically you, not molding yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. The lion is never anything other than a lion. It doesn't try to be a zebra to avoid conflict. It exists fully in its identity and commands respect because of it. Ultimately, claiming your space is an act of power. It's choosing to live deliberately, to speak boldly, and to act with purpose. It's refusing to live small in a world that benefits when you doubt yourself. Just like the lion in the wild, when you walk into a room, own it. When you speak, mean it. When you move, do it with the belief that you belong exactly where you are. Relentless focus is one of the most formidable traits of a lion and a cornerstone of the lion mentality. In the wild, survival depends not just on strength or speed, but on the ability to concentrate intensely on a goal and pursue it without distraction. The lion does not chase every animal it sees. It selects its target, locks in, and channels all its energy toward that objective. This single-minded determination is what separates predators from wanderers. The lion doesn't act out of impulse. It moves with strategy, with intent, and with purpose. In our world, distractions are everywhere. We are constantly pulled in different directions by social media, opinions, noise, and the pressure to multitask. People often spread themselves too thin, chasing multiple goals or trying to please everyone. As a result, they dilute their power. But lions don't operate like that. They understand that power lies in focus, one goal, one mission, one purpose at a time. When a lion sets its sights on a target, it gives it undivided attention. It's fully present. It's fully committed. And that level of concentration dramatically increases the chance of success. Relentless focus also demands discipline. It's easy to start something, but staying with it until completion is where the real challenge lies. Lions are patient hunters. They can wait for hours hidden in the grass, studying their prey, timing their attack perfectly. They don't get distracted by other animals or wander off out of boredom. That patience, that willingness to wait, plan, and strike with precision is a lesson in how powerful true focus can be. In life, success is rarely immediate. It requires long-term commitment, the ability to stay locked in even when progress is slow, and the discipline to keep going when motivation fades. To build relentless focus in your own life, you must learn to eliminate what does not serve your mission. That means cutting out distractions, whether they are habits, people, or environments that pull you away from your goals. Lions are not concerned with the opinions of other animals. They don't look around for approval or get caught up in meaningless competition. They stay in their lane, focused on the task at hand. Likewise, you have to protect your mental energy. Your focus is one of your most valuable resources, and if you allow it to be scattered, your results will be inconsistent. Relentless focus also means saying no, a powerful yet often uncomfortable skill. Lions don't chase every opportunity. They conserve their energy for what truly matters. In life, this translates to prioritizing your time, being clear about your boundaries, and refusing to get pulled into things that don't align with your purpose. Every yes to something meaningless is a no to something meaningful. Staying focused requires clarity, clarity about who you are, what you want, and where you're going. Moreover, this type of focus is rooted in vision. The lion's every action is aligned with its ultimate goal, survival and dominance. That vision drives its behavior. In the same way, when you have a clear vision of your future, your actions become more intentional. You stop wasting time on distractions, and you begin to move with purpose. Every step you take becomes a deliberate move toward your goal. That's the power of relentless focus. It turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Lions also teach us that focus is not always loud. It doesn't need attention. Often the most focused people are the quietest in the room. They're not trying to prove anything. They're busy building, planning, and executing. They're watching. They're learning. And when the time comes, they act swiftly and powerfully, just like the lion that waits in silence, then explodes into motion with unstoppable force. To adopt relentless focus is to step into your potential with clarity and conviction. It is to silence the noise and commit to the path that leads to your true purpose. It is to pursue your goals with the same intensity and discipline the lion shows when it sets its sights on its next victory. So remember this, the lion doesn't apologize for its strength, its voice, or its presence, its voice, or its presence. It moves with power, it leads with courage, and it rises with purpose. That same spirit lives within you. The question is, will you awaken it? Be bold, be focused, be relentless, walk like a lion, think like a lion, live like a lion. Because the jungle doesn't belong to the loudest, it belongs to the most fearless. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Drop a comment below. What part of the lion mentality are you ready to embrace starting now? Until next time, stay powerful and keep moving like a lion. Thanks for watching. Now go out there and lead with courage, strength, and purpose.